brief presentation, I'd like to look at mean comparison analysis. We use mean comparison analysis when the dependent variable is interval level, so we can calculate means of it, and the independent variable is some kind of categorical variable, either a nominal variable or an ordinal variable. And the same logic applies. The same logic of comparison applies when the independent variable is nominal, ordinal, and the dependent is interval. We separate cases on the independent and compare mean values on the dependent. Instead of comparing percentages across values of the independent, we compare means. So that makes our job a lot easier because we don't have a lot of percentages to make sense of. We have one value, a mean, and accompanied by the number of cases in that category. Here's an example: economic development and political rights and freedoms. Hypothesis: in a comparison of countries, those having lower per capita GDP will have fewer political rights and freedoms than will countries having higher per capita GDP. So as economic development goes up, political rights and freedoms go up too. So that's the general idea behind this hypothesis. Now the independent variable is a 4-category ordinal. So imagine dividing countries into low GDP per capita countries, medium-low GDP per capita countries, medium-high GDP per capita, and high GDP per capita. So as you're moving across values of this variable, you're going from low GDP to high GDP. Imagine numbers of countries in each of these categories. The dependent variable is an interval level scale. It ranges, it's a scale that measures political rights and freedoms on a scale of 0 to 12. Countries can range from 0, very few rights and freedoms, to 12. So what a mean comparison analysis will do is it'll take that group of low GDP per capita countries, add up all their political rights and freedoms scale scores and divide by the number of low GDP countries and produce a mean value. It'll do that for each value of the independent variable. Here's the test. Political rights and freedoms by country per capita GDP. In mean comparisons, the values of the independent define the rows. So you would see these are all the low GDP countries. There are 46 of them. By convention, in parentheses, we put the number of cases in each value of the independent. If you calculate the average on the scale that goes from 0 to 12, these countries average 4.8 on the scale. There are 46 medium-low GDP countries. They average 7.0. Medium highs, 7.9, so we're moving up. And the high GDP countries average 10. So you test the hypothesis in mean comparison analysis by reading down the column, comparing across values of the independent variable. The total row here tells you for all 185 countries being analyzed what the overall mean is, and that is 7.5 on this scale. Let's review that. The means of the dependent variable go along with the number of cases, appear in a single column next to the values of the independent variable. So we look at the means in a single column. Read down the column from low to high of the independent variable to test the hypothesis.